Hey guys, tonight we are going even farther back in time than usual. Before kings, before knights, before the Common Era. We are going to explore what it was really like to get dressed thousands of years ago. Not in fancy robes or shining armor, just the clothes people actually wore in the ancient world. What they felt, what they made, and how every stitch was a small battle for survival. Before we start, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really enjoy what I do here. And leave a comment telling me where you are watching from. It is always fun to see how far around the world this little time machine reaches. Now, dim the lights. Maybe grab a blanket or a warm drink. And let us begin this quiet journey together. Congratulations. You have just woken up somewhere around 3000 BCE. The exact year does not matter. Dates are for scribes, not for you. You are alive, and that is a rare enough thing in this harsh world. But before you can greet the sun or fetch your first meal, there is one daily ritual you cannot skip. You have to get dressed, and in this time, that is no small task. There is no wardrobe waiting, no dresser, no closet door to slide open. Your entire set of clothing hangs from a wooden peg near your sleeping mat. One tunic, maybe. A belt. A shawl or cloak if you are lucky. And for many, that is it. Fashion has not yet been invented. Clothes are tools. They keep you warm. They protect you from the sun. They hide what needs to be hidden. Nothing more. You reach for your tunic, woven from linen if you live near fertile rivers, from wool if your people keep sheep, from grass or bark fibers if you live where neither grows well. The fabric is rough. It scratches a little, but soft cloth is a rare luxury. You are used to the feel of it against your skin. You pull the tunic over your head. It is a simple rectangle of fabric with a hole for your neck and openings for your arms. No buttons, no zippers, no fasteners at all. You tie a leather thong or a woven belt around your waist to keep the garment in place. That belt may be the only decorative thing you own, dyed with crushed berries or patterned with careful knots. Shoes, if you have them, are simple. Soft leather wrapped around your feet and tied with strips of hide. They do not last long. They wear through quickly on rocky paths. Many days you go barefoot instead. Your soles thickened by years of walking on stone and dirt. As you dress, you notice the familiar scents of your clothes. They smell of smoke from the hearth, of the oils your family rubs into them to keep them supple, of sweat, because washing garments is hard work. Water is precious, and soap is unknown. When clothes grow too filthy or too worn, they are not washed. They are replaced or patched again and again until the fabric falls apart. The act of making clothes is slow and painful. If you are a woman, it is likely your task. You know every thread of what you wear because your fingers spun them. It begins with plants or wool. Flax plants must be soaked and beaten until soft fibers can be drawn out. Wool must be washed, combed, and teased into fine strands. Then comes spinning. Using a spindle, you twist fibers into thread. Hour after hour, The rhythm is soothing but endless. Your mother taught you how. Her mother taught her. There is no end to it. When the thread is strong enough, you set up a loom. It is a simple wooden frame. You string threads vertically, then pass more threads through them, weaving left to right, right to left, over and under, again and again. It takes days to make enough cloth for one tunic, sometimes weeks. Every garment is precious because it costs so much time and labor. You do not take it lightly. If a thread breaks, you repair it. If a hem unravels, you fix it. When clothes wear out beyond repair, they are cut into strips for tying bundles or woven into mats. Dyes are rare. Some plants give pale color, madder root for red, woad for blue. But these are costly and used mostly by the wealthy. For common folk, clothes are the color of the earth itself. Pale tan, gray, faded brown, the hues of nature, not fashion. And then there is the question of modesty. In some places, covering the body is sacred. In others, it matters less. Climate plays a part. In hot lands, you wear less. In colder ones, you pile on woolen cloaks and leather wraps. But everywhere, clothes serve the same purpose. They mark you as human, as part of a family, a tribe, a people. Children run barefoot and half-clothed. Elders wrap themselves in layers. Warriors wear short tunics for ease of movement. Priests wear ceremonial robes dyed with rare pigments. Every stitch carries meaning, even if no one says it aloud. And always, there is the labor behind it, the endless spinning, the weary weaving, the fingers rubbed raw. No one in this world owns many clothes. Most people have only one set fit to be seen in. They sleep in it, work in it, marry in it, die in it. So now you stand dressed for the day, tunic belted, feet shod or bare, cloak over your shoulders if the wind is sharp. There are no mirrors. You do not know how you look. It does not matter. No one will judge your style. They will judge your work, your honor, your strength. And the day is only beginning. You step out into the pale morning light, wrapped in your single layer of woven effort. The ground is cool beneath your feet. Mist clings to the edges of fields and hills. The air smells of smoke and damp earth. Around you, others emerge from their shelters, dressed much as you are. There is little variety here. Status is shown in thread count, in dye, in the rare gleam of shell or bead. But for most, function comes first. Your neighbor adjusts her belt and pulls her shawl tighter. The man beside her knots a strip of cloth around his head to keep sweat from his eyes. An elder ties a leather cord around her wrist, a charm to ward off misfortune. These small acts, these tiny rituals of clothing, fill the morning air with quiet purpose. It is easy to forget, living now, how hard it once was to clothe the body. There are no shops, no markets overflowing with garments. Every piece must be made by hand, from raw material to finished cloth. The work is constant. In this time, no one owns more than a few garments. Many own just one, and that one must endure through sun, rain, wind, and toil. the tunic you wear was likely made by someone close to you. Perhaps your mother, perhaps your spouse, perhaps even your own hands, if you are skilled and patient. The act of making clothes is communal. Women gather to spin and weave, their fingers moving in rhythm as they share stories and songs. Children watch, learning the patterns. Boys may learn leather work, shaping hides into cloaks and shoes. Everyone contributes. Leather is prized for its durability. Skins are scraped clean, stretched, and smoked to soften them. The scent of tanned hide lingers in every dwelling. Leather garments are warm, windproof, and tough, but heavy. They creak with movement. In cold lands, fur is added, the soft side turned inward for warmth. In warm lands, leather is worn sparingly, more as protection than insulation. Linen, where it can be made, is valued for its lightness. It breathes in the heat, dries quickly, and drapes well. But it is fragile compared to wool or leather. Wool is the workhorse of cloth. It insulates when wet, resists wear, and can be dyed more easily than plant fibers, but it scratches the skin, and it takes long hours to prepare. Every material has its limits. Every choice is a balance between comfort, effort, and survival. There is no perfect fabric, only what the land and your labor can provide. As the sun climbs, the day warms. You loosen your belt, adjust your tunic. In the fields, workers strip to their undertunics or bare their arms. Modesty bends before the demands of labor. Clothes become soaked with sweat, stiff with dust. There is no change of garments waiting at home. You will wear this one again tomorrow, and the next day, until it falls apart. And when it does, the cycle begins anew. A garment's life is long and visible. Patches speak of years of use. A well-mended tunic is a mark of diligence, not shame. Only the wealthy can afford the vanity of unblemished cloth. Children outgrow their clothes quickly. Tunics are handed down, hems let out, belts lengthened. A child's garment may have passed through many hands before it reaches their shoulders. Small feet wear shoes made from scraps, stitched again and again. There is no waste here. Every scrap of cloth, every strip of leather is used until it can no longer serve. And clothing is more than fabric. It carries meaning. A warrior's cloak, dyed with rare root, marks his deeds. A bride's tunic, woven with care, holds the hopes of her family. Even a child's first garment is celebrated, a sign of belonging to the tribe. But clothing also carries problems. Lice and fleas are constant companions. With no soap and rare washing, cloth becomes a haven for vermin. People scratch without shame. Combs carved from bone are used daily, though they can only do so much. Skin irritations are common. Rashes, sores, infections. You live with these, as you live with hunger and cold. They are part of life. Seasons bring their own clothing struggles. In winter, layers are piled on, but warmth is never certain. Fingers go numb, toes blacken. In summer, heat bakes the body beneath its protective cloth. Skin burns, dehydration comes quickly. There is no perfect season, only a cycle of new discomforts. And yet, for all its trials, clothing is a small triumph. It is proof that you have shaped the world to your needs, that with enough patience, fiber, hide, and will, you can wrap yourself against the elements. It is one of the first human technologies, older than metal, older than writing, a second skin, woven from earth and effort. As the day stretches on, the sun burns away the mist. You work beneath its gaze, your garments growing heavier with sweat. But you are not alone. All around you, others labor in the same rough tunics, the same patched cloaks, the same battered shoes. A shared language of survival, spoken without words. And the day is far from over. The sun is high now. Heat shimmers above the ground. You wipe your brow with the edge of your tunic. The fabric is coarse, but familiar. It carries the scent of smoke, earth, and sweat. This is the smell of life in your time. Unwashed, unperfumed, but real. Everyone smells the same. It is not shameful. It is simply the way of things. Around you, others labor. Some tend fields, some grind grain, some carry water from the stream. All wear the same marks of toil. Tunics stained dark with use. Leather belts darkened with oil and wear. Cloaks faded by sun and rain. There is no fashion here, only function. Yet even within these limits, small choices matter. The way a belt is tied, a bead sewn into a hem, a strip of colored cloth worn at the shoulder. These details speak quietly of status, of tribe, of family. They are not written rules, but everyone knows them. You know them. They shape how you see others and how they see you. For those of higher standing, the differences are clearer. Their tunics may be longer, their cloth finer. They may wear jewelry, a copper bracelet, a shell pendant, beads woven into their hair. These are not mere decorations. They are signs of wealth and power. They tell the world that this person can afford not only food and shelter, but the labor of others. And for the very few at the top, garments are symbols of authority. A chief may wear a cloak dyed deep red, a color costly to make. A priest may don robes woven with rare patterns, worn only during rituals. These clothes are not worn lightly. They are part of the performance of power, meant to inspire awe, to separate the wearer from the common folk. But even the finest cloth has humble origins. Every thread was spun by hand. Every strip of leather was scraped and softened with care. Behind each garment lies hours of unseen labor, most of it done by women. In this world, clothing is slow work. It cannot be rushed. And so garments hold the weight of time, the memory of hands that shaped them. For the poorest, choices are few. They wear what they can. Tunics patched beyond counting, cloaks of pieced-together hides, shoes made from whatever scraps can be found. For them, clothing is not a mark of status. It is a shield against the elements, barely holding together from season to season. And then, there are those with nothing, the outcasts, the wanderers, the enslaved. Their clothes are rags, if they have any. They walk barefoot. They wrap themselves in whatever scraps they can find. Their appearance marks them as other, as people without tribe or protection. Even here, clothing speaks, and what it says can be harsh. As the afternoon wears on, the work continues. There is little time to think of comfort. Your tunic sticks to your skin. Dust clings to every fold. You scratch at bites beneath your belt, knowing there is no relief. The itch is constant. You have long since learned to live with it. Insects are everywhere. Lice burrow into seams. Fleas nest in the folds of cloaks. Mites bite and burrow. Comb and fingers can only do so much. When infestations grow too bad, garments are stripped and beaten, or held over smoke to drive out the pests. But they always return. This is another battle without end. And yet, for all these trials, your clothing matters. It protects you. Without it, sun burns your skin. Wind chills your bones. Thorns tear your flesh. Each garment, rough as it is a small barrier against the uncaring world. Children play nearby, their laughter carrying on the wind. Their tunics are short, patched, and stained. Many are barefoot. Their clothes are not new, but they do not mind. For them, clothing is still a curiosity, not yet a burden. Elders sit in the shade, wrapped in layers. Their garments speak of years, of endurance, frayed edges, faded colors, seams worn thin by time. These are not signs of shame, but of life lived. Each stitch a chapter in a story. You glance at your own tunic. It is not new. It bears marks of many days like this. But it holds, for now, and that is enough. When it fails, you will spin more thread. You will weave more cloth. You will start again. As the sun begins to lower, the light softens. The air cools. Work slows. You adjust your belt. Shake dust from your cloak. The rhythm of the day shifts. Soon, the fires will be lit. Meals prepared. Stories shared. And as always, hands will turn to cloth. Women will spin as they talk. Fingers moving without thought. A spindle always at the ready. Thread must be made. Always. Cloth must be woven. Always. The cycle never ends. And so, as dusk falls, you return home. Tired. Itching. But clothed. And in this world, that is no small thing. The sun slips below the horizon. Shadows stretch across the land. The air cools quickly now. You pull your cloak tighter, feeling the rough wool against your skin. It scratches, but the warmth is welcome. In this time, night can be dangerous. Cold seeps into bones. Wind finds every gap in a garment. Clothing is your first line of defense. Around the fire, others gather. Their cloaks and tunics catch the flickering light, casting strange patterns on the ground. The smell of smoke clings to every fold of cloth. It will linger for days, but no one minds. Smoke masks other scents, some worse. It also helps drive away biting insects. Another small mercy in a hard world. As the meal is prepared, fingers work at spinning, always spinning. A spindle whirls in one woman's lap, its rhythm steady. Another combs wool, pulling the fibers into soft strands. A young girl watches closely, learning the motions. These skills are taught early. Without them, a person cannot clothe themselves or their family. In this world, that is a matter of life and death. You glance at your own clothes. The tunic is sturdy, but the seams show wear. You will need to mend it soon. A small tear at the shoulder grows each day. If left alone, it will ruin the garment. Repairs are constant. A bone needle, strong thread, and careful hands can give a tunic new life. But each repair leaves a mark. Over time, clothes become a tapestry of such marks, each one a memory of wear and need. For now, you eat in silence. The food is simple. Grains, roots, perhaps a scrap of dried meat. No feast, but enough. Around you, garments rustle as people shift and stretch. Cloth moves with the body, but not always comfortably. Stiff seams, tight belts, itches that cannot be scratched in company. Yet no one complains. Such discomforts are ordinary as the night deepens. Talk turns to trade. A traveler speaks of another village where blue dye has been seen. Woad, rare and costly. A few, there wear deep blue tunics, a mark of pride and wealth. You imagine the color, rich and strange against the earth tones of common cloth. Such garments are not for you, but hearing of them stirs a quiet longing. Dyes remain rare here. Most garments fade with time, their colors muted by sun and wear, but in wealthier households, brighter hues appear. Red from madder, yellow from certain flowers, blue from woad. Such colors are more than beauty. They are power, worn to command respect and envy. The traveler also speaks of fine linen, traded from distant lands, smooth as water, light as air. You try to picture it. Your own linen is coarse, the best you can manage. The thought of such cloth makes your rough tunic feel heavier, but dreams of fine garments do not change the work ahead. Tomorrow, more wool must be spun, more thread twisted, more cloth woven. The cycle is unending, yet it binds the community. Threads connect not just fabric, but people. As the fire burns low, you prepare to sleep. You do not change clothes. Few do. The tunic you wore through the day will serve through the night. Only in deep winter might you add another layer, if you have one. Privacy is rare. Entire families share sleeping spaces. Clothes are kept on, both for warmth and modesty. You lie down on a simple mat. The cloak wraps around you, its familiar scent comforting. The night air seeps in, cool and sharp. You pull the cloth tighter, grateful for its imperfect shelter. Sleep comes slowly. Thoughts drift to the loom, the spindle, the endless labor of cloth, to the new tear in your tunic, waiting to be mended, to the colors you will likely never wear, but beneath it all lies a deeper truth. In this world, clothing is not mere adornment. It is survival, skill, and story, woven together. Outside, wind stirs the trees. A dog barks in the distance. You curl deeper into your cloak. The wool itches. You scratch absently, then still. Tomorrow will bring new tasks, new wear upon your garments, new reasons to mend and weave. But for now, in the quiet dark, you are grateful. You are clothed. You are alive. Morning returns. Pale light filters through gaps in the roof. You wake slowly, your body stiff from the cold. The cloak wrapped around you has slipped in the night. You pull it close again. The wool holds the faint warmth of sleep. Though the air is sharp, around you others stir. There is no rush. The sun is still low. But soon the day's work will begin. You sit up, feeling the weight of your tunic, the roughness of its folds. It carries the memory of yesterday's labor, and many days before that, you smooth the fabric, tugging it straight. It will do. As the fire is rekindled, you step outside. The ground is damp with dew. You move carefully, avoiding sharp stones. Your soles are tough, but the earth is unforgiving. If you have shoes, you save them for long walks or cold days. Today, you go barefoot. Others emerge in the same simple dress. Tunics belted at the waist, cloaks draped over shoulders, hair bound with leather thongs or strips of cloth. There is no shame in plainness. Here, clothing is a badge of endurance, not vanity. Yet small variations speak. A bright thread at a sleeve, a well-mended hem, a belt woven with care. Such details carry quiet pride. They tell of patience, skill, and the value placed on even the humblest garment. You help prepare the morning meal. The same motions, the same tools. As you work, your eyes stray to the spindle lying nearby. Its weight is familiar. Its shape worn smooth by countless fingers. It will soon be in your hands again. Thread must always be made. The spindle is simple. A wooden shaft. A round whirl, yet with it, raw fiber becomes string. String becomes thread, and thread becomes cloth. The spindle sings a low song as it turns, a sound as old as memory. You take it up now, fingers moving without thought. The wool is rough, freshly combed. You draw it out slowly, twisting, spinning. The thread forms, thin and strong. Around you, others do the same. The rhythm of spinning fills the air, a quiet chorus of labor. Not all will spin today. Some will hunt, their garments suited for stealth and speed. Tunics shortened, belts tightened, cloaks left behind. Others will gather wood, their clothes layered against thorns and chill. Each task shapes what is worn. Children play nearby, their laughter bright. Their tunics hang loose, patched and worn. They run barefoot, untroubled by stones. Their garments carry the marks of many hands, passed down from sibling to sibling, mended again and again. An elder watches them, her own cloak heavy with age. It smells of smoke, earth, and long seasons. The edges are frayed, the seams thick with repairs. Yet it holds. In a world where little is certain, such a cloak is a treasure. By mid-morning, the loom calls. You join the others in the weaving space. It is not grand. A simple frame of wood, upright and sturdy. The warp threads hang taut. A field of potential. Your task is clear. Weave the weft, over and under, building cloth one pass at a time. You settle into the rhythm. The shuttle moves smoothly. Each motion adds strength to the fabric. The wool is rough beneath your fingers, but it will soften with wear. For now, it must be made strong. The loom speaks of patience. Each piece of cloth takes days, sometimes weeks. Mistakes must be caught early. A missed thread, a loose tension, and the work is marred. You focus, letting the rhythm guide you. Around you, voices murmur. Stories are shared, news exchanged. Yet hands do not stop. The cloth grows, slow and steady. In time, it will become a tunic, a cloak, a gift for a child, or a garment for the dead. Cloth serves in all things. As the sun climbs higher, the heat rises. You loosen your belt, adjusting your tunic. The fabric clings, damp with sweat. You scratch absently. The itch is familiar, as is the knowledge that relief is fleeting. Still, the work goes on. You weave, you spin, you mend. Each task a thread in the fabric of life. Each garment a testament to skill and endurance. By midday, you pause. The loom stands silent. The spindle rests. You wipe your brow with the edge of your tunic, its fabric rough but welcome. There is pride in this labor, though it is rarely spoken. You look to the cloth before you. It is not yet finished. Many passes remain, but already it speaks of care, of effort, of the quiet strength that binds your people. The day is far from over. The sun stands high. Shadows shrink beneath your feet. The air hums with heat. You gather your cloak, folding it across your arm. There is no sense in wearing it now. The tunic alone must serve, rough and damp though it is. Around you, others seek shade, beneath trees, along walls, beneath the edges of thatch. In this time, rest is rare, but in the heat of midday, even the hardest workers pause. The sun demands it. You sit near the loom, the half-woven cloth before you. It waits, patient. The loom is a teacher of patience. You cannot rush it. The threads must find their place in their own time. As you rest, your hands find the spindle again. The motion is soothing. The wool slips through your fingers, twisting into thread. Each turn adds strength, another link in the endless chain of cloth making. Others spin too. The air fills with soft conversation, the low hum of labor. No one speaks of the work. It is simply life. To be clothed is to survive. To spin is to ensure that survival continues. Nearby, a young boy watches. His tunic is short, its edges uneven. His belt is a simple strip of hide, yet he wears it proudly. He watches the spinning, eyes wide. Soon he will learn. All must learn. In this world, no one can afford ignorance. Older women speak softly of dyes. A new source of yellow has been found. a flower blooming in the far fields. It will not last long, they say, but while it blooms, its color can be captured in cloth. Dyes are precious, not only for beauty, but for meaning. Certain colors mark certain roles. A bride's tunic may bear red, a healer's cloak, pale yellow, a warrior's sash, deep brown. The colors speak when words are not enough, but most garments remain undyed. The effort is great, the materials costly. For common folk, earth tones prevail. Browns, grays, faded greens, the colors of soil and stone and sky. Yet even plain cloth carries pride. To wear a tunic well woven, strong and whole, is no small thing. Each thread tells of hours of labor, of skill passed through generations. The conversation turns to pests. Fleas are worse this season, someone says. No one is surprised. The warm months always bring them. Combs can only do so much. Smoke helps. Ash rubbed into seams helps. But nothing lasts. Itching is constant. You scratch at a line of bites beneath your belt. It brings little relief. You know they will return. They always do. Such is the nature of clothing in this world. It protects, but imperfectly. It shelters, but also harbors pests. It is both a shield and a burden. The sun begins to fall. Shadows stretch once more. The heat softens. Work resumes. You return to the loom. The shuttle moves again, over and under, over and under. The rhythm is steady. The cloth grows. Mistakes must be caught. A loose thread, a crooked line. The eye must stay sharp, the hands steady. There is pride in good cloth, shame in poor work. As you weave, you think of those before you. Your mother's hands on this loom, her mother's before hers. The same motions, the same tools, an unbroken chain. To weave is to join that chain, to add your own strength to the fabric of life. Outside, others prepare for the evening. Fires are built, food gathered, children called from play. The day begins to turn, but the loom still calls. The spindle still waits. The work does not end. You weave as the light fades. The cloth beneath your fingers is rough, but strong. It will serve. And as always, the day is far from over. Evening settles. The sky deepens, turning from gold to gray. You step back from the loom, shoulders aching. The cloth rests beneath your fingers, its surface smooth with hours of labor. There is more to do, always more. But for now, you pause. Around you, others gather. The fires burn low. Shadows dance along worn tunics and patched cloaks. Voices murmur, soft and slow. The day's work weighs heavy on every body, yet beneath the weariness lies quiet pride. Another day survived. Another day, woven into the fabric of life. You sit near the fire, the warmth soothing. The tunic clings to your skin, stiff with sweat and dust. You tug it loose, airing the folds. The itch beneath the seams flares again. You scratch without thought. No one minds. All know the same itch, the same constant hum of discomfort. A mother bends to tend her child. The little one's tunic is too large, its hem trailing in the dust. It once belonged to an older sibling, patched and shortened and patched again. The cloth carries a family's story, each stitch a memory, each tear a mark of growth and change. Nearby, an elder speaks of cloth long gone, of tunics woven from bark fibers, rough and stiff, of wool dyed with strange roots, their colors fading in the sun, of looms made from bone and stone. The younger ones listen, eyes wide. They know the work is hard, but they see that it has always been so. You take up the spindle once more. The motion calms your mind. Twist, draw, wind. The wool slips through your fingers, soft and stubborn. Each thread carries the strength of the hands that made it. Each thread holds the promise of warmth, of shelter, of life. Not all threads are equal. Fine thread is prized, reserved for special garments. Coarse thread serves for cloaks, for work tunics, for bags and bindings. Even the roughest fibers find use. Nothing is wasted. As you spin, you think of color, of the rare moments when bright cloth appears. A bride in red, a healer in yellow, a chieftain's cloak in deep brown or rare blue. Such garments shine against the earth tones of daily life. They speak of moments when the ordinary becomes sacred. But even plain cloth holds power. It binds the body against the cold. It shields the skin from sun and wind. It marks belonging. To be clothed is to be seen as part of the tribe, part of the story. The fire burns lower. The air cools. You pull your cloak around your shoulders, the rough wool comforting. It smells of smoke and earth and long use. You know its every seam, every patch. It has been with you through many seasons. It will serve through many more. Children drowse beside the fire, heads pillowed on folded cloaks. Their breath is soft, their limbs heavy with sleep. Their tunics are worn thin, but warm enough for now. They do not yet know the labor behind each thread, but they will learn. All do. An elder mends a seam by firelight. Needle and thread move with practiced ease. The cloth is thin, near its end, but with care, it will serve a little longer. In this world, every garment is a treasure, every patch a victory. The stars emerge, cold and bright. The fire's warmth fades. You rise, folding your cloak tighter. The ground beneath your feet is cool, rough with stones. You move carefully, knowing each path by feel. Inside, the air is close, heavy, with the scent of wool and smoke. You lie down, cloak wrapped close. The tunic beneath it scratches, but you are used to that. The cloth is rough, but it is yours. It has sheltered you through many days and nights. It will do so again. Sleep comes slowly. Your mind drifts through the day's labors, through the weave of cloth, the twist of thread. You think of the loom waiting, of the spindle resting, of the unending cycle of making and mending. Outside, the wind stirs. The night is long, but you are clothed. You are sheltered. You are part of the fabric of life, and the work will begin again with the dawn. Morning returns once more. The sky is pale, the air cold. You wake beneath your cloak, its rough wool warmed by your body through the night. Around you, others stir. Cloaks shift. Tunics rustle. The day begins. You sit up, shoulders stiff. The tunic clings, damp with sleep. You pull it straight, smoothing the folds. The familiar itch starts again. You scratch absently, knowing it will not stop. Such is life in cloth that never truly rests. Outside, the ground is slick with dew. You step carefully, bare feet pressing into cool earth. If you have shoes, they are saved for journeys or harsh days. Today, you will walk without them. Around the fire, smoke curls into the air. The scent seeps into every garment, masking worse odors. It is a comfort of sorts. You pull your cloak tighter, shielding against the chill. As the meal cooks, hands turn once more to cloth. The spindle waits. The loom stands ready. There is no pause in this labor. To fall behind is to risk going without. Each thread matters. You take the spindle in hand. The motion is familiar, almost a prayer. Twist, draw, wind. The wool yields to your touch, stubborn and soft. The thread grows beneath your fingers. Others spin beside you. Their voices murmur, low and steady. Talk of the weather, of game seen near the forest, of cloth to be dyed when the flowers bloom. The rhythm of spinning shapes the morning. Children play nearby, their laughter light. Their tunics hang loose, patched and stained. They tumble and run, unaware of the labor behind each garment. But soon they will learn. All must learn. A woman nearby weaves at the loom. Her fingers move with practiced grace. The shuttle glides through the warp, each pass a quiet triumph. The cloth grows, inch by inch. Not all cloth is for clothing. Bags, bindings, coverings for tools and goods. All must be made. Nothing is wasted. Even the shortest thread finds its place. Your mind drifts as you spin. You think of the garments worn by those with power. Chiefs draped in rare hues. Priests robed in layered cloth. Their garments speak without words, declaring their place. But even plain cloth holds dignity. A tunic well made, a cloak well mended. These are marks of care, of worth. To wear such garments is to walk with quiet pride. The fire burns lower. The meal is shared. You eat quickly, knowing the loom calls. The spindle waits. The work does not pause. By mid-morning, the sun warms the earth. You shed your cloak, folding it carefully. The tunic beneath clings with sweat, but it serves. You tie your belt tighter, ready for the loom. The shuttle moves again, over and under, steady and sure. Each motion adds strength, another layer of life woven into the cloth. Mistakes must be caught. A missed thread weakens the whole. You watch closely, fingers alert. The cloth must endure, must shelter, must serve. Outside, voices rise. A trader has arrived, bringing news and goods. Dyes, rare and costly. Wool from distant flocks. Beads carved from bone and stone. Such treasures are beyond reach for most, but they stir longing. Color carries power. A single dyed thread can change a garment's meaning. A sash of red can mark a warrior. A band of blue can honor a healer. Such symbols speak where words fall silent, but dyes are costly. Their making's secret. Plants must be gathered, roots soaked, cloth boiled. The colors fade with time, but their memory lingers. You weave as the sun climbs higher. The loom speaks of patience, of effort unseen. Each thread holds the strength of many hands. Around you, others work. Spindles turn, needles mend, cloth grows. The rhythm of the day is woven into the fabric of life. As the sun begins to fall, you pause. The loom rests. The spindle waits. Your body aches. Your hands are raw. But the cloth is strong. You pull your cloak around your shoulders once more. The evening chill sets in. The fire calls. Around it, voices gather. Stories are shared. Songs are sung. And always, fingers spin. The work never truly ends. You sit close, spindle in hand, twist, draw, wind. The thread grows, slow and steady, a gift for the future. Outside, the stars emerge. The night deepens. You pull your cloak close, the rough wool a comfort. You are clothed. You are sheltered. And tomorrow, the work begins again. The stars fade. Morning returns. You wake beneath your cloak, its weight familiar. The tunic beneath is damp. Its seams rough against your skin. You stretch carefully, joints stiff. Another day begins. You rise, pulling the cloak tight. The air is cold, the ground damp beneath your feet. Around you, others stir. Cloaks shift, tunics rustle. The sounds of the waking world. Outside, the fire is kindled anew. Smoke curls upward, its scent seeping into every fold of cloth. It masks the odors of sweat and earth. You welcome it. As the meal cooks, the spindle finds your hands. The motion is habit, a thread woven through each day. Twist, draw, wind. The wool slips through your fingers, soft and stubborn. Nearby, a child watches. Their tunic hangs loose, patched many times. They reach for a spindle, clumsy fingers learning the dance of thread. You smile. All must learn. This knowledge is life. The conversation turns to cloth. A new piece of wool, soft and thick, has arrived from distant flocks. It will make fine cloaks, if the dye holds. The talk is hopeful. Dyes remain rare. They're making a guarded art. Roots, leaves, flowers. Each holds a secret. The colors fade with time, but their memory lingers. You think of the garments worn by those with power. Robes dyed deep red. Sashes of bright blue. These colors speak of rank, of role, of reverence. But even plain cloth holds pride. A tunic well made, a cloak well mended. These are marks of care. They speak of skill and patience. After the meal, the loom calls. The shuttle waits. You take your place, fingers steady. Over and under, the cloth grows. Mistakes must be caught. A single flaw weakens the whole. You watch closely, correcting as you weave. The work demands it. Around you, others labor. Spindles turn. Needles mend. The rhythm of the day is woven into the fabric of life. Children run nearby, laughter bright, their tunics flap, faded and patched. They do not yet know the work behind each thread, but they will learn. An elder passes, her cloak heavy with years, its edges frayed, seams thick with repair. It is a testament to endurance, to life lived fully. You weave, the loom's rhythm steady. The cloth beneath your fingers grows strong. It will serve, each thread a link in the chain of life. By midday, the sun climbs high. Heat presses down. You loosen your belt, adjusting the tunic. The fabric clings, damp with sweat. The itch beneath the seams flares again. You scratch absently. Such discomforts are constant, as much a part of life as breath. Still, the work goes on. The spindle waits. The loom stands ready. The cycle is unending. A traveler arrives, bringing news. In distant lands, cloth is traded for beads and copper. Garments of fine linen are worn by those with wealth. You imagine such cloth, smooth and light. Your own feels heavy by comparison, but dreams of fine garments do not ease the work ahead. You return to the loom, hands steady, over and under. The cloth grows. As the sun falls, shadows lengthen. The day turns. You pull your cloak around your shoulders. The fire calls. Around it, voices gather. Stories are shared. Songs are sung. Fingers spin, the work never truly ending. You sit close, spindle in hand. Twist, draw, wind. Each thread a gift to the future. The stars emerge, cold and bright. You pull your cloak tight. The tunic beneath it scratches, but it shelters. And tomorrow, the work begins again. Another dawn. The light is soft at first, pale across the hills. You wake beneath your wool cloak, its weight a familiar comfort. The air inside the shelter is cool. You roll stiffly to one side and pull the tunic straight. The cloth is rough, seams pressed into your skin from the night. Outside, the sounds of the village begin. Feet on packed earth. A cough. A low voice. A child's cry. You rise, bare feet touching cold ground. The tunic hangs loose, damp at the edges. There is no second garment. This one must serve, for work and for rest. Today brings new tasks. The loom waits, but so too does the need for gathering. Your cloak is draped over your shoulders. A leather thong fastens it close. Its folds will shield against stray thorns and sharp branches. The meal is small. Roots, grain, a scrap of dried meat. As you eat, your fingers stray to the spindle. It lies ready. Twist, draw, wind. The wool responds, thin thread growing beneath your touch. You set it aside. The path calls. Others gather too, their cloaks drawn close. The day will take you beyond the fields. There are plants to find, roots to pull, bark to strip. Cloth depends on these things as much as on wool. You walk the worn path, feet light on stone and dirt. Around you, the world hums with life. Birds flit through trees. Insects buzz close. The air is cool beneath the branches. The plants you seek grow near water. Their fibers can be softened, stripped, spun. Not all know this craft, but you do. It is taught early, passed through hands and seasons. Your fingers move with care, testing stalks, peeling bark. You gather only what is needed. Waste is dangerous. Each plant must give willingly. Nearby, others gather too. One hums softly. Another works in silence. The rhythm of hands and breath fills the air. By midday, the bundles are full. The sun burns high. You pause beneath the trees. Cloak spread across a rock. The tunic beneath clings with sweat. You scratch at your side. The itch fierce. Fleas, always. You try not to mind. The return walk is slower. Burdens heavier. The sun beats down. You adjust the cloak, seeking shade where you can. The others do the same. Silence settles. The path winds homeward. Back in the village, the fibers are laid to dry. Some will be boiled, others beaten, all to yield their threads. Another spindle waits, eager to turn. You drink, grateful for cool water. The tunic is damp, stained from the gathering. It will dry as you work. At the loom, the cloth grows, over and under. Each pass a step forward. Mistakes must be caught. Tension kept true. You pause to ease a cramp in your shoulder, then resume. Children play nearby. Their voices rise and fall. Their tunics flap with each movement, patched and worn thin. One small boy wears a belt of twisted grass. A game, a mark of childhood. Soon he will learn the spindle's song. An elder watches from the shade. Her cloak is heavy, a patchwork of many seasons. It smells of smoke and earth. It speaks of endurance. You weave on. The cloth beneath your hands will become a garment, perhaps for a child, perhaps for one soon to wed. Such cloth is more than thread. It carries hope, memory, and care. Evening comes. The sky dims. Around the fire, voices gather once more. Stories flow like water, weaving past and present. You sit close, spindle in hand. Twist, draw, wind. The rhythm is soothing. The day's aches fade as thread grows. A traveler speaks of distant lands, of garments smooth as river stone, of cloaks dyed deep green, shimmering like leaves in the rain. Such things seem strange, almost beyond belief. But the thought lingers. The fire burns low. Stars appear, cold and bright. You pull your cloak close. The tunic beneath is scratchy, stiff from the day's sweat. It will not be washed soon. You lie down, the wool a rough shield against the night. Around you, others sleep. The world breathes in silence. And tomorrow, you will rise once more. Let us pause a moment. You have spun the wool, woven the cloth, stitched the seams. You have worn the tunic through cold and heat, through rain and drought. But what does it mean to wear it? What does it mean to clothe the body in a time when cloth is life? To be dressed is not simply to be covered. It is to be marked. Your clothes speak. Their color, their pattern, their shape. All these tell the world who you are. A strip of red cloth may say you are a healer. A sash of blue may say you have journeyed far. A belt of twisted wool, dyed deep brown, may mark you as wed. These signs are known by all, though none may speak of them aloud. For the old, garments speak of years, faded seams, frayed edges, patches laid over patches. Each mark is a badge of survival. The cloth wears thin, but the life within it grows strong. For the young, garments speak of beginnings. A first tunic, small and stiff. The pride of a child dressed as one of the tribe. The cloth will be outgrown soon, handed down, mended again and again. In this world, there is no waste. When cloth fails, it is reborn. A tunic becomes a bag. A cloak becomes a blanket. Strips of wool bind tools, tie bundles, patch other garments. Even threadbare rags find use, stuffed into gaps to block the wind. Yet even as cloth serves, it betrays. Lice and fleas live in every seam. Their bites mark every skin. You scratch without shame. All do. Some say the insects know the weave of the cloth better than its maker. Smoke helps. Garments are hung above the hearth, their folds soaked in smoke. It drives the insects away, for a time, but always they return. Washing cloth is no small task. Water is scarce. Soap, unknown. To clean a tunic, you must soak it, beat it, lay it in the sun. The fabric weakens with each washing. Threads fray, color fades. Yet it must be done, lest the pests grow worse. Many choose to wait, to wear the dirt as a shield. The smell of smoke and sweat becomes a second skin. It is better than risking the cloth. And so you live within a paradox. The garment protects, and yet it traps. It warms, and yet it itches. It hides, and yet it marks. Still, to be without it is unthinkable. Clothing marks you as human. The naked body is for birth, for death, for rare moments of ritual. To walk unclothed is to be cast out, stripped of belonging. Even the poorest wrap themselves in scraps, their dignity bound in rags. The garment carries memory. You remember the tunic worn by your mother, its weight against your cheek as a child, the cloak draped over your father's shoulders, its scent of wool and smoke. The first belt given to you, rough leather, worn smooth by use. Garments bind the generations, the skills to spin, to weave, to stitch. These pass from hand to hand. A girl learns the loom beside her mother. A boy learns to work leather at his father's side. No one weaves alone. The loom stands at the heart of the home. Around it, stories are told. Songs are sung. The cloth grows with each word, each note. Yet for all this, cloth is fragile. A sharp branch, a careless spark, a knife's edge. Any of these can ruin weeks of labor. To repair is a skill in itself. A patch well placed is a mark of care, of wisdom. And cloth is always fading. Dyes weaken in the sun. Threads thin with wear. The bright sash becomes pale. The proud tunic becomes dull. But the fading holds its own beauty. It speaks of life lived, of work done. In some lands, traders bring new cloth, strange weaves, rich colors, smooth linen from distant rivers, deep indigo from lands beyond the hills. Such cloth is prized, hoarded, displayed with pride. A chieftain may drape himself in traded cloth, its folds gleaming in the firelight. A bride may wear a tunic dyed with rare hues, its beauty marking the sacred rite. But for most, such wonders remain distant. The cloth you wear is spun from your own wool, woven by your own hands, dyed with what your land provides. It is yours in a way no traded cloth can be. You feel it with every movement, the weight on your shoulders, the pull at your waist, the itch at your side. It is not comfort. It is connection. You live within the cloth, and in time, the cloth will live within you. Now let us turn to the making of the cloth itself. You know well that every thread begins in labor. Long before the loom, before the spindle, there is the land. Wool, flax, bark, each must be gathered with care. Sheep must be tended through the seasons. Their wool is precious. When the time comes, the fleece is shorn, rough and tangled. It carries dirt, twigs, the scent of the animal. It is no cloth yet. Women gather to clean it. The fleece is picked apart by hand, the larger bits removed. Then it is washed, in streams, in pots of heated water. The lanolin clings to the wool, a natural shield. Some is left to ease the spinning. Too much, and the cloth will smell of the animal still. The cleaned wool is dried in the sun. Then the real work begins. Combing is slow. 2 wooden paddles set with bone or thorn teeth draw the fibers straight. The air fills with floating strands. Fingers itch. Eyes water. But without this step, the wool will not spin true. Beside this, flax must be retted. The stalks are soaked in water, sometimes for days. The smell is foul, but necessary. The fibers loosen, ready to be drawn out. Breaking and scutching follow, pounding the stalks, scraping them clean. The long golden fibers emerge at last, smooth, strong, ready for the spindle. You watch as an elder draws flax through a hackle, a bed of sharp teeth. The strands gleam in the light. They will yield fine thread, good for light tunics and undergarments. Now to spin. The spindle is the weaver's first tool, simple in form, a shaft of wood, a weighted whirl, but in skilled hands, it turns raw fiber to thread. You take one now. The wool is drawn out, fingers guiding the twist. The spindle turns, its hum familiar. Each motion adds strength. Each thread is a promise. Spinning is endless. There is never enough thread. The loom hungers for more. And so hands spin at every moment, by the fire, at the gate, walking the paths. Children begin young. Their first threads are coarse, uneven. They learn with laughter and tears, but in time, the spindle becomes an extension of the hand. Once spun, the thread must be plied, twisted again, 2 strands becoming one. This adds strength, prevents fraying. For fine cloth, the twist is subtle. For cloaks and belts, The twist is tight. Now to dye, if dye there is. The dyer's craft is secretive. Plants must be gathered at the right time, prepared with care. Roots yield reds, leaves yield greens, flowers yield yellows. Blue is hardest of all. In some places, woad is grown, its leaves fermented to release the deep color. The dye vat is a place of mystery, heated, stirred, watched with careful eye. The cloth is lowered, lifted, the color deepening with each pass, but dyeing weakens cloth. Each bath takes a toll. Not all can afford it. For most, the natural hues remain. Pale wool, gray flax, the browns of bark fiber. At last, the loom. A simple frame, yet a gateway to endless forms. The warp threads are strung, taut, and true. The weaver's fingers guide the shuttle, over and under, building the fabric line by line. Mistakes must be caught at once. A mis-threaded warp can ruin the whole. The eye must be sharp, the hand steady. Weaving is rhythm. The body sways with the loom's song. Hours pass unnoticed. The cloth grows. For fine garments, patterns are added, stripes of dyed thread, bands of color, symbols woven in to mark clan or craft. But such beauty is costly for daily wear. Plain cloth suffices, strength over splendor. And when the cloth is cut, shaped, stitched, that too is an art. Bone needles pierce the fabric. Sinew or spun thread binds the seams. The stitches must be small even. A careless seam will tear with wear. Each garment takes days to finish. A tunic, a cloak, a pair of simple shoes, all are born of patient hands. And once worn, the cycle begins anew. Wear brings damage. Damage brings repair. Patches are a language. A square at the elbow speaks of labor. A strip at the knee tells of journeys walked. A sleeve shortened tells of cloth handed down. To wear patched garments is no shame. It is to wear the story of one's life. So now you understand. Each thread you wear is a thread spun from earth and effort. Each seam is stitched with memory. Each patch is placed with care. You do not simply wear clothes. You wear the labor of countless hands, the wisdom of ages, and the cloth wears you in turn. Now let us speak of leather. Not all garments are woven. In many places, leather is life. Where wool is scarce, where flax will not grow, the skin of animals becomes the fabric of the body. Leather garments are ancient, older than weaving. Before the loom was known, skins were worn, first whole, then shaped with care. The making of leather is long and hard. An animal must be hunted or raised, its skin taken with respect. The flesh is scraped away, the fat removed. Then the hide must be softened, or it will stiffen like wood. There are many ways. Some soak the hide in water, then stretch it tight, scraping it smooth. Others rub it with brain or fat, the oils seeping deep. The smell is strong, but the leather becomes supple. Smoke is the final gift. Hides are hung above the hearth, the smoke driving out insects, sealing the fibers. The scent lingers long, a mark of protection. Leather is shaped with knives and bone tools. Holes are punched with awls. seems stitched with sinew or strong thread. A cloak of leather, a vest, a pair of shoes. All are born from this slow labor. Shoes are most prized. To walk barefoot is to risk injury. Sharp stones, thorns, biting cold. The earth is unforgiving. A well-made pair of leather shoes is a treasure, but shoes wear quickly. The sole's thin, the seams tear. Repairs are constant, many days. You walk barefoot still. Your sole's tough as bark. Leather garments are heavy. They creak with movement. They shield against wind and rain, but hold the heat. In summer, they are a burden. In winter, a blessing, some dye leather, rubbing crushed berries or earth into the skin. The colors are dull, but speak of care. A red-tinged cloak, a brown-dyed vest, small signs of beauty. Leather carries memory. A father's hunting cloak passed to his child, a belt worn thin by years of toil, a pair of shoes made for a first journey. You touch these garments often. They comfort. They protect. They remind. Now let us speak of adornment. Even in a world of need, beauty is sought. The body is clothed first for warmth, for modesty, but always there is a desire to mark the self. A bead sewn at the collar, a strip of colored cloth bound at the wrist, a fringe at the hem. Small things, but they speak. Beads are carved from bone, from stone, from shell. They are hard to make. Each is shaped by hand, smoothed with care. To wear them is to show patience, skill, and sometimes wealth. Colored thread is prized. A stripe of blue, a band of red. Dyes fade, but while they last, they draw the eye. Belts tell stories. A braided belt may mark a marriage. A knotted cord may show a vow taken. A strip of leather, stained and worn, may be a warrior's mark. Hair is adorned too. Strips of cloth, beads, small bones. Each tells of tribe, of role, of right. Yet even here, care must be taken. To adorn too boldly is to invite envy. To display wealth without strength is to court danger. Modesty in display is a lesson taught early. Let the cloth speak softly. Let the meaning be known, but not shouted. Now let us speak of the seasons. In summer, the cloth is light. Tunics of thin wool or linen, loose and short. Cloaks are set aside. Sandals or bare feet meet the earth, but the sun burns. Without cloth, the skin blisters. Tunics shield the shoulders, the neck. Wide belts hold the garment close against the wind. Insects thrive. Bites cover every limb. You scratch without shame. Smoke helps, but never enough. In winter, the world changes. The cold cuts deep. Layers are added, tunic upon tunic, cloak upon cloak. Wool is valued then. Its weight is welcome. Leather binds the feet, the hands. Hoods are drawn close. Only the eyes meet the air. Still, the cold seeps in. Fingers numb. Toes ache. To dress well is to live through the winter. Some garments are set aside for this season alone. Thick cloaks, fur-lined vests, heavy shoes. They are stored with care, aired at the first frost. And as the year turns, so too does the cloth. Old garments are mended. New cloth is woven. The spindle sings through every season. Through all this, clothing binds the days. You rise in cloth. You labor in cloth. You sleep in cloth. It shields. It marks. It remembers. Let us speak now of inheritance. Clothing is not just worn. It is passed. From parent to child. From elder to youth. From the living to the dead. A garment is a memory. The tunic stitched by a mother's hands. The cloak worn through countless winters. The belt woven at a birth. Retied at a wedding. Few garments are made new. Cloth is too precious. The time too dear. Most garments live many lives. When a child outgrows a tunic, it is let out. Hems lowered, seams widened. When it can serve no longer, it passes to a younger child, smaller still. The cloth thins, patches grow, but each stitch carries care. A mother's thread, a father's knot, the love of hands unseen. When an elder dies, their garments are not cast away. They are cut and shaped anew. A patch from a grandfather's cloak may line a child's new tunic. A strip from a mother's belt may tie a daughter's hair. In this way, cloth binds the generations. You wear the past upon your skin. It warms you. It guards you. It reminds you. Some garments are sacred. They are not cut, not mended, not shared. A wedding cloak, a ritual robe. These are kept whole, wrapped in care, brought forth only for moments of great meaning. Others become offerings. A worn tunic, burned at the solstice fire. A strip of cloth tied to a sacred tree. The gift of labor returned to the world. Garments pass not only through family, but through friendship. A healer's cloak gifted in thanks. A hunter's vest shared for a long journey. These gifts speak louder than words. But to accept a garment is to take on a duty, to wear it with respect, to honor the hands that shaped it, to mend it with care. Now let us speak of status. In this world, clothing marks your place, not by wealth alone, but by role, by right, by deed. A child wears simple tunics, loose, short, unmarked. Their freedom is in their movement, not their cloth. A youth approaching adulthood may add a sash, a braided belt, a strip of dyed cloth. These speak of readiness, of new tasks taken on. A warrior's garments are practical, short tunics for ease of movement, leather for protection, a cloak that marks allegiance. A healer wears light cloth, easy to wash, free of excess. Their hands must move freely. Their presence must soothe. A chieftain's garments are layered, dyed, adorned. Each element speaks of power, of responsibility. To wear such cloth is a burden as much as an honor. A priest wears robes woven for ritual. The patterns matter. The colors matter. Each thread is chosen with care. To wear them is to speak the sacred without words. Even within the humble, garments mark skill. A tunic well patched speaks of diligence. A belt woven with care shows patience. A cloak with balanced weight shows wisdom in crafting. To wear a garment beyond your place is dangerous. It invites envy. suspicion, or worse. Cloth must match the life it covers. Now, let us speak of ritual. There are times when cloth speaks louder than voice. At birth, a newborn is wrapped in cloth, spun by the mother's kin. It carries warmth, protection, welcome. At coming of age, a new garment is given. It may be plain or adorned, but it marks the step into greater life. At marriage, garments are rich with meaning. A cloak from each family, a belt tied by elders. These are not mere decoration. They bind lives together. At death, garments are chosen with care. Some are simple, to return humbly to the earth. Others are rich, to mark deeds remembered. In some rites, cloth is unbound, hair let loose, belts undone, tunics opened. These acts speak of change, of endings and beginnings. And there are rituals for the making itself. A first spinning, a first weaving. These are marked with song, with small gifts, with shared pride. For in this world, the making of cloth is not mere labor. It is a rite in itself. To spin is to join the flow of life. To weave is to bind it. To stitch is to heal it. And so you sit again by the loom. The shuttle moves. The cloth grows. Each thread is a thread of life. Each seam a memory. Each garment a story. And always, the work goes on. You walk into the trading camp. It is not your first time here, but the wonder never fades. The camp is a world of cloth. Strangers pass, their garments strange, their voices strange. You pause to watch. A man wears a tunic dyed deep green. Another, a cloak shimmering like water. A woman's sash is embroidered with threads that catch the sun. Your own tunic feels heavier now. Coarse wool, a plain belt, a faded cloak. You are dressed as you must be, but still, the sight of such cloth stirs longing. You walk among the traders, eyes wide. Here, cloth is currency. Bolts of linen stacked with care. Bundles of wool dyed in hues you have only heard of. Fine leather garments shaped with skill. A trader calls to you. His cloak is dark red, trimmed with beads. He lifts a piece of cloth, thin as breath, pale blue, soft as new leaves. You reach to touch it. The fabric slides through your fingers. You have never felt its like. It comes from beyond the river, the trader says, a land where the water runs wide and the sun is strong. You ask the price, though you know it is beyond you. The trader smiles. He knows too. Further on, another trader unrolls belts woven with patterns strange and bold. Birds, waves, stars, each knot a language unknown to you. Nearby, a woman sells small bags of dye. The scent is sharp, earthy. She holds out her wares, yellow from flower, red from root, a jar sealed tight, blue, rare as the sky. You think of your loom, of the cloth at home, plain and honest. What would such colors speak if you could weave them in? But the dyes are costly. You shake your head. The woman nods, understanding. You pass a stall where leather workers sit. They shape shoes, stitch cloaks, burn patterns into soft hide. One works a child's tunic, cutting it to size. Strong, the leatherworker says, seeing your gaze. Warm, it will outlast its first wearer. You nod. In your home, leather is life through winter. A cloak like that would be a gift beyond price. As the sun climbs, the camp grows louder. Traders call. Deals are struck. You see two elders arguing over a bolt of dark wool. Hands gesture. Voices rise. Then laughter. Agreement. A young weaver shows her work. Tunics with narrow stripes, delicate patterns. Her pride shines brighter than the cloth. You pause to watch. The cloth moves like water. Your own weaving feels rough by comparison. But you know, even rough cloth holds strength. A child runs past, trailing a length of ribbon. Laughter follows. For a moment, the camp seems lighter. Then, you hear the song. A singer stands by a shaded tent, her voice soft but sure. The song is old, about a cloak woven for love, worn in battle, carried through loss, buried with honor. You stand still, listening. Around you, others pause too. The song speaks to all who spin, who weave, who mend. When it ends, you breathe deep. The camp hums again, louder now, but the song lingers. You turn to go. The fine cloth, the rare dyes, the leather, the song, they stay with you. You will return to your loom changed. At home, the spindle will turn, the shuttle will pass, your cloth will grow, and perhaps, one day, a thread of that longing will find its way into the weave. You think sometimes of all the garments you have worn. There were not many. You can count them. Your first tunic, small, rough, spun and woven by your mother. You remember its weight more than its shape, the feel of the belt too wide for your waist, the itch of the wool against your neck. You did not mind. It was yours. Later came another, longer, patched already by then. You remember the first patch you made yourself, under your mother's eye, the thread pulled too tight, the cloth puckering. You left it. The flaw became a mark, one you would feel each time you dressed. Your first belt, woven leather, a gift from your uncle. It frayed with use, the end curling like a dry leaf. You wore it until it split. Then you wove another, better, a cloak, thin at first. You remember shivering through the first winter. Then a new one, heavy, lined with fur. The weight of it was strange at first. Later, you welcomed it. A pair of shoes, rough leather. They pinched, then loosened. You walked many paths in them, repaired them again and again. When they failed, you burned them, thanking them in silence. A marriage tunic, dyed pale red. You remember standing in it, stiff with nervous pride. The cloth caught the light in ways your old tunics never had. You wore it again in other seasons, each time softer, more familiar. A cloak worn for mourning, blackened by smoke, heavy with loss. You kept it long after the rite ended, unable to part with it. When the fabric grew thin, you packed it away. Many garments passed through your hands, though few through your own body. You spun thread for others. You wove cloth for children not your own. You stitched tunics for kin and strangers alike. Each was a quiet gift. You never marked them, never signed them. But in your mind, you remember that tunic for a cousin's first hunt, that cloak for a neighbor's newborn, that belt for a friend long gone. Garments outlive their makers. You sometimes see a child in a tunic you once wove. The color faded, the patches new. You smile and pass by. The cloth does not remember you, but you remember it. A belt you made holds a trader's pouch now. The pattern still clear. You say nothing. It belongs to the wearer now. At times you sit with your spindle in stillness. The rhythm of twist, draw, wind is a kind of prayer. You think of all the threads you have sent into the world. Threads that still bind tunics, belts, cloaks, shoes. You will not live to see them all wear through. But that is well, to make something that endures beyond your hand. This is enough. You think too of your own last garment. It waits, folded with care, spun from flax and wool, woven plain, dyed with quiet colors. No sash, no ornament. It is meant for the earth. You made it yourself. Each thread shaped with thought. Each seam stitched with steady hand. A gift to your own body for the final journey. It will not be worn in life. It will meet the fire or the soil. The cloth will part. The threads will return to the world. You think of this with no fear. It is the way of all garments, to serve, to shelter, to mark, to fade. You touch the tunic you wear now. The hem is worn. The seams are strong. It has more seasons in it yet. When its time comes, you will mend it. When no more mending will serve, you will strip it for rags. Even then, the cloth will speak. You think of this as you pick up the spindle again. Twist, draw, wind. Another thread begins. You are spinning too fast, the elder says. You pause. The spindle wobbles in your hand. The thread is uneven. You sigh. Again, the elder says, her voice soft. You begin anew. Twist, draw, wind. The wool slips through your fingers. The elder watches. Her hands rest on her knees, weathered and strong. Her cloak is old, patched many times. The seams lie flat, the stitches small. You wish to finish quickly, she says, but cloth remembers the hand that made it. You glance at her. I wish only to have enough. Enough is never fast, she says. It is steady. The spindle hums. You slow your motions. The thread evens. The elder nods. Better. You set the spindle down and reach for the loom. The elder stops you with a glance. Do you know why we spin? She asks. To make cloth. Yes, but more. You wait. We spin because it joins us to the world, she says. The thread connects hands to land, wool to sheep, plant to soil, cloth to body. She picks up a piece of worn cloth from her basket. This was my mother's cloak, she says. I patched it when I was your age. The patch still holds. She runs her fingers along the seam. The cloth is thin, but sound. You see the work of many hands here, she says. Mine, hers, hers before. You nod. The elder continues. A tunic wears out. A cloak fades, but each time we mend, we weave the past into the present. She looks at you. You will do this too. I will try, you say. Not try, she says. Do. She picks up her own spindle. Twist. Draw. Wind. Her fingers move with ease. You are young, she says. You see cloth as a thing, a task, a need. One day you will see more. You watch her spin. The thread forms, fine and true. I see it already, you say. She smiles. Then you are ready to learn more. You return to your spindle. The wool feels different now, softer, more alive. The elder speaks as she works. Do you know why we wear belts? To hold the tunic. Yes, but also to remind us. Of what? Of balance, she says. A belt binds the cloth. It binds the body. Without it, the garment shifts, loses shape. She ties an invisible knot in the air. Life is the same. We bind ourselves to what matters. You nod. She gestures to the loom. And do you know why we weave patterns? For beauty. And for memory, she says. A pattern repeats. It carries meaning, even when words are lost. She holds up a strip of cloth. A simple band, but the pattern within it sings of hands long gone. Learn the old patterns, she says. Add your own. This is how we remember. You study the cloth. The threads dance beneath your gaze. You will make many garments, the elder says. Some will wear out quickly. Others will last. But all will carry a part of you. She leans closer. Spin with care. Weave with care. Stitch with care. The cloth will remember. You nod. The words settling deep. The sun begins to lower. The elder gathers her tools. I will go now, she says. You will stay and practice. You stand. Will you teach me again tomorrow? She smiles. Every day we weave. Every day we learn. She steps away, her patched cloak trailing behind. You sit once more. The spindle waits. Twist. Draw. Wind. The thread grows. The elder's words echo within you. You see now. Each thread is a link. Each garment, a story. Each patch, a gift. You spin slowly, steadily. The cloth will remember. You walk through the village. The sun is low, casting long shadows. The air is cool, touched with the scent of smoke and earth. You pass a man mending his shoe. Leather creaks beneath his hands. A bone needle moves in steady rhythm. The shoe is worn thin. He patches the sole with care. His tunic is faded brown. The hem is torn, a fresh rip. He will mend that too, soon. A child runs past, barefoot. Their tunic flaps loose. A strip of cloth ties their hair. The tunic once belonged to an older sibling. The patches tell the story. You pause by a weaver's house. A loom stands within, tall and plain. The cloth upon it is pale wool, unpatterned. The weaver moves slowly, guiding the shuttle. Her tunic is soft gray. The cuffs are edged with blue thread, a simple mark of her craft. You watch in silence, then move on. Two women stand by the well. Water jars rest at their feet. One adjusts her belt, leather braided with bits of bone. The other wears a sash dyed red. They speak softly. The elder of the village passes. Her cloak is thick, lined with fur. The patches are many, but well placed. The weight of years shows in each seam. No one speaks as she moves by. All nod in respect. You come to the traders. A man sorts through bolts of cloth. His tunic is striped, colors from distant lands. The stripes are faded, but still bold. A woman sells leather belts. She wears one herself, dyed deep brown. Small patterns burned into the surface. The belt speaks of journeys. Another trader arranges beads. Her tunic is simple, but a necklace of shell gleams at her throat, a rare adornment. You move past. By the hearth, an old man stitches. His fingers tremble, but the needle moves true. The cloak in his lap is blackened by years of smoke. He mends it still. Children play nearby. One wears a tunic belted with rope. Another tugs at a too long sleeve. They laugh and tumble. Their garments shift and twist with each motion. A group gathers near the meeting place. A healer stands among them. Her robe is pale, the fabric light, easy to wash, easy to wear. Her belt holds pouches of herbs. A strip of blue cloth marks her as one who knows the body's ways. Next to her, a warrior leans against a post. His tunic is short, sleeves cut for ease. A leather vest covers his chest. His belt holds a knife. His cloak hangs loose, ready to be cast aside. Nearby, a young couple speaks with an elder. The woman wears a new tunic, pale red. The dye is fresh, a mark of joining. The man's belt is newly braided, a gift from the elder's hand. Their eyes shine. The cloth speaks of beginnings. You move on. At the edge of the village, two hunters prepare to leave. They dress in layers, tunics, leather wraps, cloaks against the cold. Their shoes are thick-soled. Their belts hold tools. They speak little. The garments must serve them well. You watch them go, fading into the trees. Evening comes. The village slows. Fires are kindled. Smoke rises. You return along the path. A mother sits by her doorway, spinning. Her spindle turns, steady and calm. A child watches, learning. Her tunic is plain. The belt is frayed. Her hands move with care. You pass her, nodding. In each garment, you see the life beneath. The worn, the mended, the adorned, the plain. Cloth speaks where words fall silent. The village breathes in wool and leather, in patch and stitch. You walk on, the fabric of life unfolding with each step. Let us speak of the problems. Clothing protects, but clothing also burdens. There is no garment without trouble. First, the making. It is slow. A spindle must turn for hours to yield a small bundle of thread. A loom must be worked day after day to build a single tunic's worth of cloth. Mistakes ruin the work. A weak thread breaks. A loose tension sags the weave. The cloth must be unraveled, time is lost. The body wearies, fingers cramp, shoulders ache, eyes strain, yet the work cannot pause. Without cloth, there is no life. Second, the wear. No garment lasts forever. Cloth thins with time, seams strain, belts fray, leather cracks. Repairs are constant. A hem unravels. Stitch it. A tear opens. Patch it. A hole grows. Reinforce it. If the repair fails, the garment fails. But too many patches weaken the cloth. A tunic may reach the point where no new patch will hold. Then it must be stripped for parts. The loss is felt. Third, the vermin. Fleas nest in every seam. Lice cling to every thread. Mites burrow unseen. Cloth itches. Skin reddens. Sleep is broken. Comb and smoke help. Ash rubbed into cloth helps. Washing helps, but harms the cloth. There is no perfect cure. The fight is endless. One morning the cloth feels clean. By night, it crawls again. Fourth, the washing. Water is precious. Soap is rare. To clean a garment means to weaken it. Wool felts if washed harshly. Linen weakens. Leather stiffens or cracks. Garments are worn long between washings. Smoke masks the worst scents, but over time, the weight of dirt grows. The fabric stiffens. The body suffers. Fifth, the seasons. No single garment fits all weather. In heat, cloth traps sweat. The body overheats. In cold, too few layers chill the bones. In rain, wool soaks, leather stiffens, linen clings. To own many garments would help, but few do. Most must make do with one tunic, one cloak. The seasons must be endured. Sixth, the scarcity. Cloth is wealth. Not all have enough. A child may wear a tunic too small, bare legs beneath. A hunter may wear a cloak too thin, patched beyond strength. An elder may sit in rags, warmth lost to time. To lose a garment is a loss beyond words. To steal one is a grave crime. Seventh, the trade. Good cloth travels far, but trade is slow, costly. Dyes run out. Fine wool is rare. Good flax is hoarded. A weaver may work months without the right thread. A single poor harvest, a bad winter, and cloth grows scarce. Eighth, the ritual. Some garments cannot be worn again. A wedding cloak may not return to daily use. A ritual sash must be kept pure. Yet the cloth cannot be wasted. It sits in storage, unused, as new needs arise. The balance between respect and need is hard to hold. Ninth, the envy. Fine garments bring danger. To wear bright dye is to draw eyes. To display rich cloth is to risk theft, or worse. Modesty is wise. A fine belt may be worn beneath a plain cloak, a bright sash hidden until the rite begins. But always, the wearer must watch. 10th, the change. Children grow fast. Their garments lag behind. A tunic is let out again and again. But one day, the cloth can stretch no more. Then a new garment is needed. But is there enough cloth? Enough time? The question hangs. Even adults change. A belt must be tightened. A tunic no longer fits as it did. Each body shapes its cloth anew. 11th, the loss. fire consumes cloth, a stray spark at the hearth, a wind through the weaving house. Mice and insects chew through stored garments. Mold creeps in damp corners. A single flood can ruin months of labor. Loss is felt deep. Cloth is not easily replaced. 12th, the passage. A loved one dies. Their garments remain. Some are burned, some given away, some stored in silence. To wear them again is a choice full of weight. To cut them for parts is harder still. But need will often decide. Such is the way of cloth. It serves, it burdens, it binds. Each thread carries trouble, but also life. The making goes on. Let us follow a single tunic. It begins as wool. Sheep are sheared in early spring. The fleece is thick, tangled, heavy with winter's weight. Hands pick through it, teasing out the best strands. The wool is washed in stream water, beaten, spread to dry beneath the sun. The smell of lanolin lingers. The feel of it coats the fingers. Combing follows, a slow task. 2 paddles draw the fibers straight. The air fills with stray strands, clinging to hair and skin. Then spinning. A spindle turns. Twist. Draw. Wind. The thread builds. Hours pass unnoticed. A basket fills slowly. When there is enough, the loom is set. Warp threads are strung. The weaver sits. Over and under, the shuttle moves. The cloth grows. Mistakes are caught. The pattern is simple. Plain weave, strong and even. The cloth must last. Days pass. The cloth nears its end. The weaver cuts it free. The edges are bound. The fabric rests. Now stitching. A tunic takes shape. 2 rectangles for front and back. Openings cut for head and arms. A belt will hold it close. Seams are stitched with strong thread. Each stitch small, even. The tunic must endure. At last, it is done. The tunic passes to its first wearer. A youth, grown enough to leave childhood dress behind. The tunic is stiff at first. The wool scratches. The belt is awkward, but soon it softens, molds to the body. Seasons turn. The tunic serves in work and rest. It bears sweat, sun, rain. It is worn to the fields, to the hearth, to the gathering place. Stains appear. A spill of berry juice, a smudge of ash. They are scrubbed as well as they can be. A tear opens at the shoulder seam. It is stitched closed. A patch covers the thin cloth at the elbow. Winter comes. The tunic is layered beneath a cloak. It holds warmth close to the skin, the wool now soft, familiar. But wear continues. The hem frays. The side seam strains. More patches appear. A new belt replaces the old, which wore through. Years pass. The tunic no longer fits its first wearer. It is handed down to a younger sibling. The tunic is let out. Hems lowered. Seams adjusted. It begins anew. More wear. More repairs. The cloth grows thin. Patches cover patches. The sleeves are shortened when the edges can no longer hold. Another child wears it. Then another. At last, the cloth fails. A large tear cannot be mended. The tunic can no longer serve as clothing. It is cut. Strips become bindings. Some line a pair of shoes. Others wrap the handles of tools. The largest piece becomes a rag, used to clean, to wipe, to shield the hands from heat. Even then, the cloth continues to serve. At last, when the rags fray to threads, they are burned. A small fire beneath the cooking pot. The smoke rises, thin and pale. The tunic is gone, but not forgotten. The spindle turns again. A new thread begins. Another tunic will follow, and so it goes. What do you feel when you dress? Do you notice the weight of the tunic as it settles on your shoulders? The cool of the cloth before it warms to your skin? The itch of the seam at your neck? Do you think of who spun the thread? Who wove the cloth? Whose fingers tied the knots that hold it together? Do you think of the first day you wore it? Or of the day it will fail? When you tie your belt, do you remember how it was given? How it first felt strange in your hands? How it came to feel like part of you? When you fold your cloak at day's end, do you notice the scent that rises? Smoke, sweat, rain, the faint memory of wildflowers crushed long ago. Do you feel the patches beneath your fingers? Do you remember the hands that mended them? When you see another's garment, a tunic dyed bright, a cloak edged with fur, a belt woven fine, do you feel envy, or pride, or curiosity? Do you wonder what stories those threads could tell? When a child outgrows a tunic you made, do you smile? Do you weep, just a little, as you let out the seams? Do you whisper a blessing into the stitches? When a loved one dies, and their cloak is folded away, do you run your fingers across its surface? Do you bring it close and breathe in the scent of their life? When you mend a tear, do you remember what caused it? A branch caught on a walk, a careless slip with a blade, a hard day's work at the loom. When you see an elder's patched cloak, do you see the age in the cloth, the patience in each stitch, the life worn into every thread? When the first cold wind blows, do you reach for the thickest wool you own? Do you thank the hands that spun it? Do you hope it will be enough? When the sun burns high and sweat soaks your tunic, do you long for lighter cloth? Do you dream of linen from distant lands? Do you remember that even your rough wool is precious? When the dye fades from your belt, do you mourn the lost color? Or do you smile at the proof of time passing? When you give a garment to another, do you feel lighter or heavier? Do you wonder if they will feel your presence in its weave? When you see a patch sewn by a child's hand, uneven, crooked, bright with effort, do you leave it, proud? Do you correct it, gentle? Do you teach again? When you sit at your loom, do you think of all the garments yet to be made, of the threads that will bind generations yet unborn? When you pick up your spindle, do you feel the weight of all who spun before you, their hands guiding yours across time? When you dress in the morning, do you think of the cloth as armor, as shelter, as memory? And when, one day, your last garment is woven, plain, strong, stitched with love, when it is folded and placed aside, will you feel sorrow or peace? These are questions without answers. But the cloth remembers, and so, perhaps, do we. The wind rises with the dawn. You wake beneath your wool cloak, the fabric rough against your cheek. The air is cold. A thin draft stirs the edge of the cloth. You pull it closer, seeking warmth. Outside, voices murmur. A dog barks once. The village stirs. You sit up slowly. The tunic beneath your cloak is stiff with yesterday's sweat. You smooth the fabric with tired hands. The seams itch at your shoulders. You scratch absently. The spindle lies nearby. You pick it up, the wood familiar beneath your fingers. Twist, draw, wind. The thread builds. The motion soothes. Soon the loom will call. But first, the fire. You rise and step into the pale light. Smoke curls from the hearth. The smell of damp wood fills the air. Others gather close, hands outstretched. Cloaks shift and rustle. You tie your belt with care. The leather is worn, supple. The knot is muscle memory. Each morning the same. A child tugs at their too large tunic. A mother bends to adjust it. The cloth hangs unevenly, patches bright against faded wool. You smile. Such garments speak of life. The meal is simple, grain and root. You eat quickly, mindful of the work ahead. At the loom, the cloth waits. Warp threads hang, taut and ready. The shuttle rests on the beam. You begin, over and under. The rhythm is slow, deliberate. The weft builds, line by line. Your fingers move with care. A rough patch in the thread catches. You smooth it, adjust the tension. Mistakes must be caught at once. A misstep here will weaken the cloth. The light shifts as the sun climbs. You pause to stretch aching shoulders. The tunic clings to your back, damp with effort. Nearby, others spin. The low hum of their work fills the space. Spindles turn, threads grow. A trader has brought new wool. The dye is faint, but even pale color is welcome. A strip of blue here, a thread of red there. Small signs of pride. You weave on. Children play in the yard. Their laughter rises, bright. Tunics flap. Bare feet patter on the hard earth. An elder watches from the doorway. Her cloak is heavy, its edges frayed. She fingers the seam absently. The cloth carries years. The shuttle moves again. The cloth grows beneath your hands. Thoughts drift. You remember your first weaving, coarse, uneven. Your mother's voice, patient, her hands guiding yours. You remember the first tunic you made alone. The pride, the fear, the joy of seeing it worn. Such memories live in the threads. The sun nears its height. You pause to drink. The water is cool. Welcome. The loom stands silent for a moment. Then you return. Over and under. The pattern holds. The cloth strengthens. Around you, garments tell stories. A warrior's short tunic, scarred by use. A healer's light robe, free of excess. A trader's striped belt, bright with distant dyes. Even the plainest cloth speaks. The spindle turns again. You think of the cloth's end. A tunic worn thin. A cloak patched beyond strength. a belt frayed to threads. Yet nothing is wasted. Strips bind tools. Rags wipe the hearth. Even ashes feed the soil. The circle holds. Evening nears. You set the shuttle down. The cloth rests. The loom will wait for tomorrow. The fire calls. You gather with others. Cloaks drawn close. The spindle hums beneath your hands. Stories flow. Threads spin. The old and the young together. Outside, stars emerge. You pull your cloak tighter. The tunic beneath scratches, but holds warmth. Tomorrow, the loom will call again, and the work will go on. The first cold rains come. You wake to the sound of water on the roof. Thin streams slip through the thatch. The air is damp, heavy with the smell of wet earth. You pull your cloak close. The wool holds warmth, though the edges are damp. The tunic beneath is cool against your skin. You smooth the folds, fingers brushing familiar seams. Outside, the village moves slowly. A woman shakes her cloak free of water, beads scattering. Her belt is tied high, pulling her tunic close for warmth. Children dart between puddles. Their tunics hang heavy with rain. Bare feet splash, laughter rising. You step carefully. The earth grips your soles, slick with mud. The fire burns low. Smoke drifts across the room, clinging to cloth and skin. You draw near, hands outstretched. The loom stands silent today. Damp air warps the thread. It must wait. Instead, you gather wool for spinning. The spindle turns, twist, draw, wind. The motion is steady, soothing. The thread forms beneath your fingers. Nearby, others spin, their voices low, words soft with the rhythm of work. A man enters, shaking water from his cloak. The leather gleams dark, beads of rain sliding free. He hangs it near the fire, steam rising. His tunic is thick, patched at the shoulders. The belt is braided, worn smooth by use. An elder sits close, cloak wrapped tight. Her fingers move through a basket of scraps, strips of cloth, ready for mending or binding. She pulls a tunic from the pile, thin, frayed at the seams. Her needle gleams. Stitch by stitch, she gives it new life. You watch her hands. The cloth speaks of years, the weight of memory in every fold. The spindle hums. A child brings a bundle of wool. The mother thanks them softly, adding it to her basket. Through the open door, the rain falls steady. The world outside blurs. A traveler arrives, cloak soaked through. He carries a small bundle, carefully wrapped. He unwraps it by the hearth. Strips of dyed cloth, bright against the gloom. Blue from distant lands, faint green, deep red. The room stirs. Eyes linger on the colors. Threads of longing weave through the air. The traveler speaks of a market far away, where cloth and dye are traded like grain. You listen, spindle turning. The colors fade. The story remains. A young woman asks for a strip of blue. The traveler names his price. A small pouch of herbs, carefully prepared. The trade is made. She will weave the thread into a belt. A gift, a promise, a mark. The rain eases. You set the spindle aside and stand. The air is thick, the fire warm. The elder nods toward the basket of scraps. You take a strip and tie it around a worn tool handle. Even small cloth holds purpose. Outside, the earth glistens. The village breathes beneath the gray sky. You walk the path, feet sinking slightly with each step. A child crouches near a puddle, tracing shapes with a stick. Their tunic is short, patched at the hem. A strip of red cloth ties their hair. You smile and pass by. At the edge of the village, a loom stands beneath a shelter. The cloth upon it is covered, protected from the damp. You touch the warp threads lightly. They are cool, taut, waiting. Tomorrow, the air will dry. The loom will sing again. For now, the spindle waits. You return to the hearth. The cloth dries slowly. The spindle turns. The elder stitches. Outside, the rain whispers, and the work goes on. The sun returns. After many days of rain, the sky clears. Light spills across the village, pale and cool. The earth steams where water meets warmth. You wake beneath your cloak, the fabric dry at last. The tunic beneath feels softer, lighter. You smooth the seams, fingers tracing patches made long ago. Outside, the path gleams with damp stones. A child runs past, tunic bright against the mud. Their laughter rises into the morning air. You tie your belt carefully. The leather is supple from wear. Each knot holds memory. The loom calls. You step into the weaving space. Light filters through the roof, falling in thin beams across the warp. The threads hum beneath your touch. You begin, over and under. The shuttle moves with quiet rhythm. The cloth grows. Others gather nearby. A mother spins. Her spindle sings in the still air. A youth stitches a new tunic, brow furrowed in thought. An elder sets aside a basket of finished belts. The colors catch the light. Blue, faded red, earth brown. The village breathes. A trader arrives, cloak still damp from the road. He carries bolts of cloth, rare and fine. The villagers gather, eyes drawn to the colors. You watch in silence. A strip of deep green draws your gaze. It speaks of distant forests, rivers unseen. The price is high. You do not ask. Later, you return to your loom. The warp holds steady. The shuttle moves again. The cloth beneath your hands is plain, strong, true. You pause to drink. The cup is cool against your lips. Nearby, a child practices spinning. The thread wobbles uneven. The elder smiles, guiding small hands. You watch, remembering. A voice calls. A ceremony will soon begin. Garments are fetched from storage, cloaks brushed free of dust, belts tied with care, tunics smoothed with patient hands. The space fills with quiet purpose. You watch as a young couple dresses. The woman's tunic is pale red, stitched with fine thread. The man's belt gleams with polished beads. Their smiles speak of new beginnings. The village gathers. Voices murmur. Cloth rustles softly. The ceremony begins. Words are spoken. Threads of meaning weave through the air. You listen, hands resting on your lap. The couple steps forward. Cloaks are draped across their shoulders. Belts tied with steady hands. The cloth binds them, marks the moment. Later, the village feasts. Cloaks are loosened, belts untied. The air fills with laughter and song. You sit by the fire, spindle in hand, twist, draw, wind. The thread grows. A child curls against your side. Their tunic smells of smoke and earth. You smile, spinning on. The fire burns low. The stars emerge. You gather your cloak close. The tunic beneath holds the warmth of the day. Nearby, a young weaver hums softly. The loom waits for morning. You breathe deep. Threads connect all things. Cloth binds the body, the seasons, the years. The spindle turns, and the work goes on. Now, close your eyes. Let the spindle turn in your dreams. And if you enjoyed this quiet journey, do not forget to subscribe to the Sleepy History channel.